seen trucking industry like this in the past 10 years. This is the worst year for the trucking industry. Worst year.
Yeah.
And when I came to a truck stop, I reserved a shower. There were 23 people in front of me in the line. 23 people. It's been 4 hours I'm waiting for the shower, and they still 3 people ahead of me. Still. So you can imagine that how many people are sitting at this truck stop without a load.
We are in a trucking recession, right?
Another worst week for the trucking industry. I'm actually sitting in Seattle, Washington right now without a load. I don't have no load right now.
Wow.
Message to the president.
Uh-oh.
The industry for truckers is dying.
And it's definitely the truth because I'm a trucker going on 7 years, and it's not looking good out here, guys.
So we are officially in recession. I just got out of that Walmart right there.
We might need to start the recession countdown to 2026 because one of the most important leading economic indicators in the United States just flashed a warning sign that it's only done twice in the past 20 years, once in
Here are the things I will not be purchasing as we head into a recession.
I want to talk to you about trucking companies going out of business in the United States.
Good morning, all my buddies. So today was a very busy day in the trucking industry. There was a lot of news stories that came out, and so I want to give you an update on our very first story where the Trump administration has made an announcement that they're going to halt work visas for foreign truck drivers.
The truck driver shortage.
Newsflash, it's already happened, guys. I had a homeboy just call me the other day saying, hey, guy, hey, bro, hey. Companies are calling me up because they can't hire any foreign drivers because they don't speak English.
Let's have a conversation about it because this is very important. Is this going to affect the economy? Is this going to cause a supply chain crisis? These are the golden questions that everybody's asking. It's on national media right now. The driver shortage scandal has been being pushed for decades, but right now it's a little bit different because media outlets, politicians who want to have non-domicile drivers here in this industry so they can be exploited for their cheap labor, which in turn lowers freight rates, which strokes the back of the major corporations. It's lower transportation and logistics costs for them. These politicians, they're putting out stuff right now citing the fact that it's a pretty unprecedented move that, you know, they're going to stop allowing non-domicile drivers to get a CDL, and because of that, it's going to cause this massive ripple effect. Shelves are going to go without being stocked. There's going to be a supply chain crisis. It's going to wreak havoc on the American economy.
In America. Currently, I'm in Baltimore right now at the TA, and tomorrow I'm getting ready to go to Washington, D.C. My mission is to talk to Donald Trump about the trucking industry, a congressman, a senator, somebody. Something in the trucking industry needs to change.
All right, real talk real quick. When are we going on a trucker strike? Because we definitely need a trucker strike right now.
No trucker strikes, bro.
We need it ASAP. Especially for the people that are contracted or independent truck drivers like me. It is sucking bad out here. Low wages, we don't get paid overtime, even though I'm contracted, I'm not a company driver, but we get treated like shit. We get stepped on every single day.
Trucking layoffs, new tariffs, trade wars. Is there a recession coming sooner than we think? Let's talk about what the media isn't showing you. Thousands of truckers are being laid off. New tariffs are heating up a trade war between the U.S., China, and Europe.
That's true.
This is not just about truckers being laid off. That's just the first domino effect in all of this. When truckers start being laid off, the supply chain freezes. The prices go up.
Yep. And
then companies start to cut costs. And guess what that means? That means more layoffs. So what that means for us? That means that in the near future, prices are going to be sky high, and we're going to begin to see our shelves empty. Yep. So here's how to prepare.
So my buddy works for a big mega carrier in truck driving, and they just put out that they're getting ready to start doing language enforcement on the company side. So it appears that now the mega carriers are actually going to start cracking down on anybody that works for them that isn't proficient in English per the FMCSA guidelines. So that guy Singh over there in Florida, he just changed the entire game when it came to this.
And I feel like the rates are plummeting down. Truck stops are banking off
Yeah, the guy who actually killed the 3 people in Florida, it caused a ripple effect all over America, and I think it was for the good. But a lot of people are going to be suffering because of it as well.
It's on repair parts, everything else. We all just need to man up and just go on a trucker strike. I think this
that
needs
ain't
to
gonna
happen.
work. That ain't
this
gonna
needs
work.
to happen. This at the end of this year, it will carry. If not, it will just keep on carrying on and on and on. Guys, we gotta do something about these rates. It's bad.
Well, as a lot of you guys already know, I do have the truck tentatively sold on Monday. I mean, it's not over till it's over, but it's almost sold. I've got a deposit. I'm going to meet the guy on Monday. I'm going to give him the keys. We're going to get the bill of sale done, and I'm going to be out of the trucking game. Guys, It was supposed to last 3 years. It lasted 5 years. I really appreciate the business. The business was good to me, although challenging a lot. Owning a truck is not always the easiest thing, but if you do it, you can do it right, and it can be successful. But needless to say,
cut non-essential spending. Start saving some money because things are about to get sky high and you're going to need more money. Right now, also, you can start to buy stuff in bulk. While it's not expensive, stock up on the things that you may need because we may not even be able to get no supplies at all. This is not fear-mongering. This is a reality.
That's cool.
And if we didn't learn nothing in 2008, what we learned is that the people who prepared early, they made it through that crisis easier. Y'all, right now, are y'all prepared for a recession? A recession can hit us as early as the summer. No. Have y'all been following this, and are you prepared? Y'all leave in the comments and tell me y'all thoughts. And
it's already September, and I can tell you right now, in the future, you're correct. Now, it wasn't the fact that you got to go buy food and go stock up water and all this and that, but there's a lot of people suffering right now, and people that are broke, y'all need to put out a tutorial on how y'all surviving.
Add anything that I left out.
I'm stepping out of the game. I am quitting trucking. I'm going on to the next chapter, which essentially was the first chapter of my life, to go be a pilot. So I'm going to go try to be a pilot again. I've already got a commercial pilot's license, but I am not current. I am not experienced anymore like I used to be. So I've got to redo all that stuff just to get back in the seat, get back in the game. So stay tuned. I hope you join me for my journey. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be a little nerve-wracking. There's a lot of unknown, but we're going to make it happen. I appreciate all the positive words. You guys are awesome. Y'all have a great day.
Hey, this is the TA in New Mexico, exit 79 on I-40. This place normally is packed, is loaded, full of those guys that Habibis, I don't know what's the name.
Wow.
Indies. And look at this shit. Thank you, man. Empty. This is what people is calling the Trump effect.
The Trump
Here
effect.
we go, baby. Clean the industry.
So now the brokers are complaining that they losing money. Man, y'all been stealing money from the drivers forever.
Brokers.
So you ain't gonna be able to pay that driver no $1 a mile no more. Yeah, so this is a problem for you now. Yeah. Your pocket's about to get tight. I tell all you truck drivers right now, if you're owner operator out here, start demanding more money per mile. These brokers about to be out of business.
Just when I thought things were looking up, here's a quick recession indicator and maybe a sign of growth and frontal lobe closing. It's Tuesday, and I went grocery shopping on Sunday, and when I went in the fridge this morning to look at the strawberries that I bought, they molded. So guess where I'm going? My ass is going back to Whole Foods to return these strawberries and get my money back. Because what the heck? What the heck? And back in the day, I would just throw them away and be like, my loss, no strawberries this week. No. I need my $9.50 back. Thank you.
So what's behind this stark downturn? First, overcapacity. During the pandemic boom, new carriers flooded the market. Now there are simply too many trucks chasing too few loads, giving it to long-term planning.
And when I got up to the cashier, I hadn't noticed before, I was actually stunned. She was so beautiful that I was stunned. So I give her my credit card, I pay for my stuff, and
I was stunned.
She's giving me a look I thought I might have creeped her out a little, and she's giving me a look like, yeah, I know I was born this way. Sometimes it's a problem. And as I leave, I grab the bag, and I turn around to her, and I say, "It started, hasn't it?" And she goes, "Yeah, about a week ago."
I dropped my load 8 o'clock in the morning, and it's already 1 o'clock that I'm sitting here waiting for the load. A lot of people been asking me, does it gonna get fixed? Is it gonna get better? I have no fucking clue what is gonna happen, because day by day it's getting worse and worse. I have no clue. I haven't seen trucking industry like this in the past 10 years. This is the worst year for the trucking industry. Worst year.
Yeah.
And when I came to a truck stop, I reserved a shower. There were 23 people in front of me in the line. 23 people. It's been 4 hours I'm waiting for the shower, and they still 3 people ahead of me. Still. So you can imagine that how many people are sitting at this truck stop without a load. All the truck drivers, we have nothing else to do besides taking shower all day. Pray for everybody. Stay safe on the road.
That's tough. That's tough, man.
This
Shaking
article,
the
they
shower
say
all
that you
day.
probably have been feeling it in your deadhead miles, right? You've been feeling it when it comes to you negotiating for rates, and you really have just been taking whatever because you need to pay your bills, right? So they are saying here in this article that we got to really start to look at the numbers. We got to understand what happened post-COVID, what happened during COVID. Pre-COVID, the trucking industry was already in trouble. Rates were suffering, capacity and volumes were low for freight, all the above, right? We were already starting to see rates dip before COVID hit. Boom.
Wow.
2020 came, lockdowns came, retail slowed down, and everything started to make it seem like trucking was about to stop because everything was shut down. And then e-commerce exploded. People started ordering stuff online. Employers and merchandisers and big retail suppliers started back ordering goods. So there was so much freight that needed to be moved and needed to be delivered. This created a situation that allowed the existing trucking companies that were in the market to start making money hand over fist. So much so to where everybody ran to social media and said they were making money, and then
That's exactly true. They boom. It's called boom bust. They inflated the market with all this, and that's why all these other trucking companies, these guys that don't know how to speak English, popped up as well.
we had tens of thousands of new people jump into the industry to get a piece of this golden trucking age that they thought we were in.
Rapidly. Yes, truckers voted for Donald Trump. This is somewhat of a FAFO. This is a company that is going out of business, and it's mainly in Florida, but they are not the only trucking company. Here are a few lists of trucking companies going out of business in 2025. If you have not heard, UPS is laying off 9% of their drivers. Why
Yeah, they
are
already did
trucking
that.
companies going out of business? Ladies and gentlemen, if a tariff is a tax on goods brought in, and so these trucking companies pick up shipments and they disperse shipments like UPS and they bring them from the port, people are going to buy less. Stores are going to buy less.
Not only did we see a bunch of trucks come into the market, we also saw a bunch of foreign-born CDL holders start entering the market as well, because people wanted to get drivers for as low a rate as possible so they could have the biggest profit margins that they could see. And then boom, in 2022, the wave started to die down because we started coming out of the pandemic. And it didn't start to trickle down. No, it went down fast as hell. Went from being able to get $3 a mile without negotiating to now being barely able to negotiate over $2 a mile now here today in 2025.
Cooked.
So sign number 1, they talk about tender rejection. So let me explain to you what tender rejections are. Tender rejections happen when people who are on contracted freight start to say, no, we can't haul this freight, we're too busy, or we're overflowed, we have truck breakdowns and things like that. Those are called tender rejections when trucking companies start to decline their contract freight. Now, when those trucking companies decline the contract freight, that freight then spills over to the spot market, aka DAT, truck stop, etc., etc. Right now, rates are currently hovering and averaging at about $2.27 per mile per this article.
Man, shout out to this lady, man. She's really cooking right now. I like how she's explaining this. I'm learning a lot. Hopefully you guys are too.
Article, meaning that it is barely covering a break-even point or cost of operating or how much it costs you to run your trucking company. So the rates are literally just enough for you to pay your business bills.
It is getting sucked dry by these soulless corporations and lobbyists, and it's got to change. There has got to be a change. There got to be a minimum freight cost of $4 a mile. There has got to be a minimum driver wage of $1 a mile, because all these companies, you can't
that 30 cents a mile is trash.
$2.38 a mile when it costs $2.25 to maintain the equipment and get the stuff moved. That leaves nothing for the drivers and the people at the office and the people involved. That's nothing. Brokers should be capped at 3 to 5%. You know, the people that make this stuff work are the truck drivers and the carriers. And they need to take home the biggest piece of the pie. You know, this is ridiculous. And it's caused safety issues across the board. Everybody's got to cut corners, they got to go above and beyond what they can do safely just to try and make it to get ahead, and still not get ahead. These companies are having to borrow and go into debt, hoping to God for a miracle. And we need a miracle. We need a government that's going to look at this and say, listen, these corporations aren't going to step in and do it. They're not going to do the right thing. We got to do what's right for the people, for the hardworking people of America. Or the trucking industry is just going to come to a halt, because nobody's going to be able to do it. It can't keep going on like this. You know, it can't. And I know that $4 a mile, you're going to have to cut the fat somewhere, but guess what's going to happen?
Yep.
Some companies are going to cut the fat at the top. They're going to take away all this money for the CEOs, all these bonuses they're making for robbing people, you know, because as much as they can steal from somebody, that's how they get their bonuses. That by expanding the profit on the bottom line, making it grow, by cutting the throats of all the people involved. Well, what's going to happen is these companies are either going to raise their prices on their product, and other companies are going to cut the fat at the top and start giving people what they're worth instead of what they've stolen. And some companies' prices are going to stay the same, and some companies' prices are going to skyrocket. Guess what?
Wow. American Trucking is exposing a Mexican scam that allows Mexicans to stay illegally in America and take American truck jobs. That's crazy, man. I hate that this is going on. So this must be the trucking company right here who's doing this. TradeX. That's terrible, man. I hate that if they're doing that, man. They need to cut it out.
Eye off the hog for all this time. It's going to be a reckoning coming if we get this done, because you've been getting paid too much. You know, I don't know what to tell you, but the guys out on the road risking their life every day, risking to crash their truck in a load, and any minute, any dumbass guy in a car or your own error or anything could happen, and that's it.
Yeah, that's
You're
true.
done. But when you're in an office, just booking loads, playing on the damn internet and your phone all day long, worst that's happened is your computer crash. And you get to go home to your family every night, relax, and do all this. You're making too much money. 3%, 5% cap on broker rates. $4 a mile mandatory for any freight to move, doesn't matter what it is, anywhere in the country. That's how it needs to be. We got to have this happen, I think, anyway. If you disagree, let me know. If you agree, let me know. Share this video. It doesn't do no good to watch it and not like it and share it. If you feel like I feel, let's get this out there. If you got a video that you got the same thing going on, send it to me. I'll share it too. I'll follow you back.
That's true.
God bless everybody. I hope everybody has a great Tuesday. So talk to you later.
Yeah, man. Bro, man. Country boy. Yup.
November of 2007, and the other in February of 2021. And that leading indicator is the ISM Services PMI, which as you can see has been decelerating since the October 2024 highs. We focus on services because the United States is a service-based economy, not a goods-based economy. Services make up roughly 80% of the entire GDP. Now, the two main components of the ISM Services PMI to observe are new orders, which has been decelerating, as well as prices, which has been doing the opposite and accelerating to new highs. What's interesting is that if you overlay these two charts together with prices in orange and new orders in blue, you can see that ever since December of 2024, there's been a divergence, which you can see with that alligator mouth opening. And the reason why this is significant right now is because both have crossed their significant thresholds. One, for prices, it's above the 67 index, while at the same time, the new orders index is below 54. This is not healthy because prices are rising to extreme levels while demand is dropping to extreme levels. And if you go back the past 20 years, you've really only seen this two times. One in February of 2021, which really you didn't get a sustained deceleration in new orders below that 54 level, but then you had it really start to diverge back in November of 2007. You can already see why this is significant because if you overlay the S&P 500 in white there, you can see that this front runs these major drawdowns that last over 3 months. And if some random dude on the internet like me is observing these things, you bet that these guys are too, and it has them nervous. And it's not just me saying this, just look at their actions. There's a reason why they're ramping up their massive debt buyback program like they've done back in 2002. And so if you're someone who can't wait for the Fed to pivot again and continue rate cuts, I would just highly recommend you take a look back at history, seeing that the majority of market drawdowns have happened after the Fed started to aggressively cut rates. And right now we're currently seeing the dollar go bullish and bond yields go bearish, which is typical of a risk-off environment, but we'll see if that happens. Now, if you want to track this stuff yourself, we have a free PDF called the Ultimate Macro Investing Toolkit that gives you a list of indicators for you to look at for yourself every single week. All you have to do is DM me the word toolkit, and I'll go ahead and send that to you. Now, the reason why I'm saying start the recession clock for 2026 and not 2025 is because one, there's very low credit stress in the credit markets right now, as well as all of the can kicking being done by the Treasury and the government right now. Those could last for several more months. But that doesn't mean sell or short the S&P 500 as it clearly remains in bullish trend for now. But what do you think? Let me know in the comments below, and I will catch you in the next video.
Man.
Now, spot rates or loads you see in rates you see on the load boards are lower consistently than contract rates. Sometimes they run neck and neck. Sometimes the load board rates trump the contract rates. But right now they've been trending lower than what people have been getting for contracts consistently. Problem here is that these particular rates that we're seeing now on the spot market or on the load boards are not reflective of the rising insurance costs, the rising bankruptcies that's been happening in the industry, and the rising maintenance costs because of the tariffs and everything that's being affected when it comes to y'all ordering parts to fix your trucks. The recession we're in looks totally different than what it looked like prior to COVID. One of the reasons is tariffs are back in play. Trump's tariff era is wreaking havoc, y'all. As much as we don't want to admit that it is, we're slowly starting to see the effects every day in the trucking industry and in rates. This article also says for the people back in the day when you lost the contract, you could hop on DAT or Truck Stop or Truck Smarter or True North, and you could piece together a week and make comparable rates and profit according to what your contract was. But now, because we got things 30% down in rates, we can't do that anymore. Also, let's not even talk about all the trucking companies that are going bankrupt that we're not hearing about. In this article, he says, what are truckers supposed to do right now? You need to be paying attention to your operating costs and negotiating from that only. It's also time that you start finding you some customers, that you actually start being a business owner, that you actually start selling your services to the people who need them. It's the worst it's ever been. If you correlate a bad industry to losing money, to exits of carriers losing their trucking companies, and an imbalance of actual supply chains and goods, then absolutely we are in a trucking recession, no matter how anybody wants to put it. Now, is there still money to be made? 1,000%. And when we add in tariffs, when we talk about the disruption of those non-domiciled CDLs, and we talk about the just structural saturation in its own of all these goddamn trucks out here, yeah, baby, this could be a little bit worse than what we actually saw in 2008 and what we saw prior to COVID as well, too. And the final thought of this article says, You've endured a lot of things before. We've been down. Everything that goes up must come down. But the people who are going to be able to weather this storm and really sustain their businesses are the people who understand and learn how to do business, how to build relationships, and how to keep themselves consistent, and how to really get lean in their operating and conducting business. So yeah, right now it's rough. And if you made it to this end of this video, that means you're one of the people who's actually going to survive because you give a hoot about what the hell is going on out here. I've been talking about you guys knowing your CPM, understanding your operating costs and things like that for the last 4 years. But you know, I done took a hiatus from social media, so I guess now I got to come back to make sure that y'all doing the right thing. And you know what I'm finna tell you? Follow me, man.
Shout out to her too, man.
These are some of the things that I came up with that I feel like we really need, us and our families. All deadhead miles paid, whether you're an owner-operator or a company driver. Brokers are triple broking loads. We need broker transparency. Maybe FMCSA could literally control them. What do you guys think? They're stealing our revenue. They steal on average $52,000 a year off our backs, you guys. FMCSA needs to hold them accountable, not us. We need to get paid address to address, not zip code to zip code, and not as the crow flies, because as we all know, a truck doesn't fly like a crow. We need a set minimum for company driver, $2 a mile. For owner operator, $5 a mile. For hourly wage, $45 an hour. We need FMCSA to regulate shippers and receivers. Why? Because they're wasting thousands of hours of our time on the dock, most of them just scrolling on social media. I feel like we need to get paid at least $25 a night for sleeping in our trucks. We are away from our families, our wives, our children. We're suffering. Mechanics, let's get those guys regulated. Let's have some kind of law where if they fix something that isn't broken, they get fined or jail time. Billions of dollars need to go into our roads immediately. In my opinion, about 30% of the lower 48 states, the roads are garbage. I'm tired of replacing my steer tires every 6 months instead of once every 2 years like I should be. No more billions of dollars to Israel, Ukraine, everywhere else.
Yeah, that's crazy.
All these tariffs, where are they? Only so many professional drivers allowed in the industry, period, end of story. Only true professionals. I will be going to Washington, D.C. tomorrow. I don't know if anybody's going to talk to me. They're probably not. You guys probably think I'm crazy, and I'm okay with that. What is any of us doing? Why can't we stick together, you guys?
First and foremost, this is coming after a tragedy on the Florida Turnpike where a driver who was not a U.S. citizen fraudulently obtained his CDL because he did not even have a work visa. So he wasn't even allowed to get the CDL. He could not speak English. He failed an English language proficiency test, took 3 people's lives trying to make an illegal U-turn on the Florida Turnpike, and then he tried to flee the country and go back to his home country of India, in which he was originally seeking asylum from. This is like the 4th or 5th time just this year, since the beginning of 2025, that a non-domicile driver who does not speak English has caused a multi-fatality wreck where they have been 100% at fault for it. And people are looking at this not from the sense of saying, well, we don't like them because they have a different skin color, or we don't like them because they're from a different country. That's not what this is about, and I want to make that very clear. This is about the fact that had these guys not been here to begin with, had they been better at speaking English, had they been trained better, had they not fraudulently obtained CDLs and had to go through the same steps that somebody like myself has went through,
that's true,
this would not have happened.
We sacrifice so much for the American people. We sacrifice our health, we sacrifice birthdays, holidays, weddings, funerals. I've missed it all. And for what? To get paid, I don't know, 60% less than truckers did in the 70s? In the 1970s, truck drivers made about $35,000 a year. Today's pay, that'd be about $14,000 a year. So if today a company driver makes about $80,000 a year and an owner-operator makes about $130,000 a year, technically an owner-operator should be making $280,000 a year gross, or sorry, net, and a company driver should be making about $160 net. Before you think I'm crazy, stop being brainwashed to think that, oh, you should work 90 hours a week and you know, you're lucky if you get to eat and have a roof over your head. That's not the point, guys. The point is to have a good life, to be able to have vacations and a few toys. And I'm not saying have it all, but if you work 90 hours a week, you're a law-abiding citizen, you're a decent person. Come on, guys, don't you want more?
These people would still be alive. I mean, we're talking about lives lost. And I typically don't get into left and right politics, but I will say this right here. The party of the left, the Democrats, they're the party that's always harping about worker exploitation and worker rights and making sure employees are taken care of. But yet this is the party right now that is, they're losing their mind over the fact that we're possibly going to start purging out non-domicile drivers from the trucking industry.
That's true.
And to me, I can't help but to call out the hypocrisy in that, because first and foremost, before we even talk about is that actually going to cause a supply chain crisis, what these people are advocating for when they voice their disdain for the removal of these guys from this industry is they're advocating for modern day indentured servitude. I mean, that's really what we're talking about here. I mean, these people are being exploited. They're living in the truck. They're not making hardly any money at all. They're not adhering to the FMCSA hours of service regulations that prevent drivers from being exploited.
I'm tired of all these mega carriers saying that there's a driver shortage.
And he's saying the truth, because a lot of these different guys, they just got here over the border. So they're just coming from their countries, getting to America, and they don't really know how to live out here, and they're jumping in a truck. So they're living in the truck like completely. They don't go home at all. So sometimes you'll catch them in the bathroom washing their feet in the sink, man. It's sad.
When there's not. There's a driver retention problem because the fleets want to go and get foreigners from all over the world, pay them next to nothing. The foreigners are happy because they're sending home, you know, thousands of dollars, which in those countries, they live like kings. And all the meanwhile, we're taking the blunt of it. But we can't live for cheap here in America. We need that extra revenue to support our families. I'm sick of working paycheck to paycheck, guys. I'm tired of it. 90 hours a week. I'm sorry, but we should easily be able to maintain our vehicles. We should be able to have a little bit of fun, go on vacation. I don't know about you guys. Last 5 years, I haven't even been on a vacation.
$100 million trucking company is closing its doors. And not only are they closing their doors, they're closing their doors and they're basically selling off everything, but they're in debt. Do you know how monumental that is for a $100,000 company that's been running for 71 years to suddenly have to close their doors?
And this has already happened. Curl Fumer did shut down, and I'm sad that happened. I think I did a video on my channel about that, but what she's saying is true about the effects of it.
You understand the magnitude of that? Trucking has been a horrible industry to be in, probably for the since COVID. And I'm going to tell you why. It got oversaturated with a bunch of box truck drivers, with a bunch of people taking cheap freight. And that is an industry that is completely dependent upon everybody to make it work. Dispatchers, drivers, insurance companies, brokers, shippers, manufacturers, all of those pieces working together.
The United States is immediately pausing the issuance of all worker visas for commercial truck drivers in the United States. This is coming from U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio. He stated all of this on Thursday, and I quote him, "The increasing number of foreign drivers operating large tractor-trailer trucks on U.S. roads is endangering American lives, undercutting the livelihoods of American truckers."
Is what make trucking. And when you have a breakdown with any one of them, everything will crumble. My husband and I left our full-time careers to start trucking companies back in 2020. And it was a lesson learned, but it was a situation where if we didn't get out, we would have lost everything, right? Yep. And by the time it was over with, we were down to nothing. So to see $100 million company go to nothing, this family business that was supposed to be in the family for generations to come, is now closing its doors. That's just a testament of how if one thing fails, it can crush everything. Everything can be over in the blink of an eye.
So I'm at work right now, but I am reading this article from Freight Waves. They're saying that layoffs are going to hit the freight-related companies across Southwest or Southeast more than 1,800 jobs cut in Alabama, Florida, Georgia, Tennessee, and South Carolina. So, question is, are we doing great yet?
So y'all let me know if I'm tripping or not. But in Florida, I've seen this post that in Florida, they're going after foreign truck drivers. They're going after people who aren't originally from America.
Yes.
To get jobs back to Americans. And of course, you know, you got the MAGA like, yes, finally. But it always confuses me because it's like, why are you mad at the people who are just trying to get a job and make money? And instead of being mad at the companies that are paying lower rates so they can make more profit. Like, how are y'all mad at the people trying to achieve the American dream, but y'all never look to the corporate companies that are literally trying to make more of a profit?
And guys like this just don't understand. They got to realize that it's all economics. If you inflate the industry with more workers, even if they're trying to come to America for a better life, it's still going to have a negative effect. Period. Doesn't matter.
Profit by cheaping out on the workforce. I never understand this.
There are veteran drivers quitting in 2025. So I made a video about why drivers quit after their first year. And surprisingly, a bunch of veteran drivers were in the comments telling me about why they're quitting after 20 to 30 years. This is 3 reasons why veteran truckers are leaving in 2025. Number 1. Health. A bunch of drivers were telling me that they were quitting because they destroyed their body. Whether it's their back, sleep apnea, arthritis, or them just straight up becoming obese, a lot of them had to get out because their body just could not handle it anymore. Number 2, relationships. A common stereotype in trucking is that it will cause your marriage to fail. And I mean, it's true. A ton of drivers were telling me that they went through multiple marriages throughout their trucking career. And basically having a relationship is extremely tough when you're constantly gone all the time. Number 3, respect. People stopped respecting truck drivers. Whether it's four-wheelers on the road or people in general, people just don't take us seriously anymore. And they think that we're the scum of the earth. And that's another reason why a lot of guys just want to get out. But what do you think? Are the sacrifices worth it, especially nowadays? Let me know.
So y'all, I'm currently broke down at a truck stop in Ohio. This is the absolute worst part of trucking when you're broke down. A Freightliner doesn't open until tomorrow. And hopefully they have the part I need. Tomorrow's Friday.
Yeah.
If they don't.
Uh-oh.
It's been 2 weeks into trucking, and I swear, like, there's a lot of crazy stuff that happens here. And I'm just surviving at this point. But in this couple of 2 weeks, a lot of things have happened. I haven't been making content because a lot has been happening. I've been going through a lot of crazy truck stops. Like, they just don't prepare you enough for how crazy truck stops are until you start driving. So, little heads up for those that are going into trucking, like you just starting into trucking. Don't go to a truck stop after 5 p.m. looking for a trucking. Go after 5 p.m. Them truck stops are so full, it's crazy. Literally crazy. Because everybody just be parking everywhere and it's just mad.
Call it
panic parking. Full, like, it's... You will know. Trust me, if you're going in, you will know how crazy. I cannot express how crazy it is, but it's crazy.
I hate to be the one to say it, but stop watching all these trucking videos and think that you're going to get into that company or you're going to go make $100,000 or $200,000 your first year out of CDL school.
No, you could.
It's just not possible. Yes, you can make $100,000 your first year, but it's not going to be just driving the truck. It's going to be touching some freight,
flatbed,
some serious work in. And if you want to get in the trucking and make some serious money, it can happen. But stop watching all these creators, because half of these people get on this app and they lie, they sell a dream, they sell a facade. They tell you that, oh yeah, you can make $2,500 to $3,500 a week, but they don't tell you that you have to have 6 months to 1 year to 2 years experience, depending on what you want to haul.
The United States just announced that they are pausing the issuance of work visas in the United States after this foreign truck driver caused the accident that took the life of 3 people. Secretary of State Marco Rubio said that there will be no work visas issued until further notice, and they are also reviewing current work visas and have come up with over 180,000 work visas that will probably be revoked. If you've been driving long enough, then you know the trucking industry is full of foreign drivers, you know. I kind of feel bad for the drivers that came here the right way, that got their work visa the right way, that got their job, that actually learned how to drive trucks the right way. You know, they gonna be affected by this, you know, but it is a lot of, not just foreign drivers, it's a lot of people that don't properly learn how to drive trucks, and they get into situations like this where, you know, people lose their life. It's just time overall to take a look at how people get their CDLs, if they learning what they need to learn, etc., etc.
Hey guys, well, today is Friday, and no Freightliner dealership could fix the truck.
Wow.
And so I'm here another day because I think another tractor is coming to me, a loaner tractor. But I realize I look like yesterday in this video, but I'm not. I've had a hot shower and all that good stuff. But I'm still at truck stop. It's back over there. The hotel is right there. So I'll be here another night.
Wow.
Somebody left a comment and said that this was not the worst part of trucking. And I read that comment, and you are so right. I am thankful and blessed that there is no accident.
Or what type of division of trucking you want to be in. They don't tell you that they went over the road for a year before they went local. They don't tell you that they've been driving for 2 to 3 years. They don't tell you that, oh, they've been trucking for 10 years. These are the things you have to stop believing everybody that get on this app and post trucking content. A lot of people just do it for views and likes and shares and comments, but they don't tell you the truth. They don't tell you that it takes 3 to 4 months of being gone to stack up money to make that type of money. They don't tell you that they're gone for 2 to 3 weeks at a time. A lot of people get on this app just to sell a dream. Trucking is one of those things where it can change your life and it can work how you want it to work, but you have to do your research and know what you want to do when you get into trucking.
I'm not stuck on the side of the road. I didn't blow a tire, a steer tire. I didn't roll over. I'm not in a ditch.
Yeah.
It could have been so much worse. So that comment, you're absolutely right. This is not the worst part of trucking. I'm just down, relaxing. Not even in the truck. It's gone to the shop. I'm at a hotel.
Yeah.
I'm chilling. I just hate that I'm not moving, being an owner operator. I don't get extra pay for my truck breaking down that I have to pay for.
Yeah.
But you were absolutely right. So this is just a part of trucking, but not the worst part of trucking. Thank you for that comment.
That's
true. So, I had a crash, my first accident, and it was nerve-wracking. It was crazy. I was so scared. I was so nervous. I was going through a lot of emotions. I literally felt like my brain was just gonna blow out. I could not make content. Bro, content at a point like that, I could not do any of that. So what happened was, like I said, they don't prepare you enough. Truck stops, it's just, you're gonna have to see it for yourself. So I got to this truck. I was like running on my late hours, like my last hours before I was out of time. And I get to this, I'm checking out different truck stops because I want to know where I'm going to sleep for the night. And so everywhere is like fully booked. Everywhere is like overbooked. So I get to this truck stop and I didn't really check on the satellite to see how it would look like. That's something I learned now. But I get there and I'm trying to maneuver, like it's like I mentioned, it's booked at this time, like this is around 9 p.m. and I got this guy parked at the wrong place. Like he's parked right in the way that you're supposed to go through to go to the other side. He's right here, and on the other side I got bobtails and I'm coming right in between, like right here. I'm coming through and I'm trying to maneuver all the way this way. So in the procedure, it looks like I got a lot of space. Like, it
Bless
looks like
this
I got
girl heart.
I'm thinking I'll make it. And this point, my tandems are still at the way, like, they're back, but they're not all the way back, but they're further back. And so I'm trying to maneuver my truck into this sport. And as I'm doing that, I'm going through, I can see my trailers following me behind, and everything looks okay, you know, until I start hearing this sound that sounds like there's all of a sudden a wire above my truck. And I'm like pushing forward, trying to see, like, there was no wire when I got here. Like, I'm for sure there was no wire when I entered this place.
Truck driver's not going to tell you this, but I'm going to tell you. Is getting your CDL worth it in 2025? I mean, I've been driving for about 4 years. And what I've learned from my perspective is that I feel like it's worth it if you know when you come out here, you're going to come out here with a strategy. And you're going to come out here with being focused and driven. This game is purely about hustle, what I've learned over the last couple of years. If you're not willing to put in the hustle, then don't get your CDL. If you are not willing to drive a lot of hours, then don't get your CDL. If you feel like you can't even drive more than 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 hours, do not get your CDL. If you feel like, oh, I just want to get it because I've been seeing all these influencers talk about it, do not get your CDL. I personally feel like just get the CDL if only that's because that's something that you want to do. This is something that you're very interested in, and you have a goal in mind that you want to achieve. And then from there, you can use this CDL to get something else going for yourself. I look at everything that I do in my life as tools in order to get to my next step in life.
Yes.
So if you want to use the CDL, I think it's a tool, it's a skill, it's a trade, it's good to get into, but make sure that you are smart about it and invest and do your thing. That's all I'll say.
All right. I see the news that the Florida governor is stopping all the visas for them foreigner truck drivers.
Yes.
And a lot of people, they're happy about it because what happened past recently, the driver that killed 3 people in Point St. Lucie Turnpike, that was kind of fucked up. Like, come on, man. You could tell he was a rookie. Everybody know you're not supposed to do that on the turnpike.
Insane.
But my thing is this. I think that's going to fuck up a lot of drivers locally. Because foreigners was taking all the cheap freight and bringing them down to, you know, other distribution places. But we'll see. Because right now, my company is kind of slow. My pickups are heavy, but I think delivering out is kind of slow because we don't know who's bringing in the freight now. I feel like that's going to mess up
it shouldn't.
1,000 or million people or companies out there to get their freight. So we'll see how that goes. Look at me now. I'm doing a delivery and appointment time is not till 2 to 3 o'clock. I don't never get deliveries like this. And this is kind of messing me up for my pickups. But we'll see how it goes.
Bro, man, chilling. He chilling, bro.
I feel like it's going to be bad because the foreigners will always getting all them cheap-ass freight. And I think these companies going to have to drop their prices just to pick up freights now because nobody want to deliver all the expensive-ass companies. But we'll see how it goes.
But now I'm like, okay, so what is causing the sound? So I get out. No, before I get out. So what happens is I'm like, there's no wire there. So I reverse back. And as I'm reversing back, I see this guy coming out of his truck and he's happy.
What?
And my mind, he's happy and he's looking at me and I'm like, okay, dude, what's going on? And then as I'm still going back, because I'm trying to figure out whether there was a wire that I didn't see or what, as I'm going back, I noticed that I crashed into this guy's tractor, and this man is happy, and I'm like so confused, and I'm asking him, like, did I do that? And he's like, yeah, you did that. And I'm like, oh my God, my mind is spinning. A lot is going on, a lot of emotions. I'm going crazy, and this man is happy, and I'm saying I'm sorry, and this man is so happy that I bumped into his truck, and I just don't know why, but I'm like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm stressed out. So we fix all that. We go through the paperwork, and yeah, we get all that done. And I'm still like nervous and crazy. And
this lady,
I don't know how
trucking
much
is
I
not
can
for her.
say I appreciate truck drivers. I appreciate a lot of truck drivers who come out and help out on us new drivers who are just starting in the industry. But with all the truck stops I've been at, there is always that person that comes out and helps me out. Like with backing, if I'm having challenges with backing, there's always that person that will come out and be like, you need help? Why not?
Because truck drivers are mostly men, but we're pragmatic. We love to help each other out, man, because no one else is going to help out a truck driver more than another truck driver.
Two, sometimes it's like more than two. They come out like, you need help? I'm like, yeah, and then they help me out. And that really means a lot, because it, besides you running around all the time, it helps you to see that you're not really alone. And that was one of the things that made me hesitate, like, becoming a truck driver, because people used to tell me that truck stops are so bad, like, it is so bad, that and that, like, truck drivers are like, they had a lot to say. And that kind of made me feel like, I don't know, like, will I be safe? And honestly, maybe they are. I have not bumped into them yet, but maybe they are people like that. But the ones I've met so far have been really helpful, and I really appreciate each and every person that each and every truck driver that stands out to help all the new drivers, or all the people that are really in need of help with backing or still getting used to the trucking industry. And so I'm there. That happened. We sort that out, and this guy comes out, and because now I still need to find a place to park for the night. And he comes out and he's like, you need help? At this point, I'm just thinking I should probably just go out of this place and find somewhere else to, I don't know at this point, because I'm already out of time and there's not much I can do. And this guy comes out and he helps me out, and he makes me realize that I actually had to jackknife the tractor and trailer for me to enter the place, because no matter what I would have done, I was never going to be able to get in unless I jackknifed my trailer. And I always thought jackknifing your tractor and trailer was like, no, you cannot do that. Like, but sometimes there are going to be some situations in trucking where you need to jackknife your tractor for you to go in. Like, it's just, you got to be safe about it. They told me that, but sometimes you're going to have to. Like, you're just going to have to. That's the only way. And he helped me make my own parking, because, like I mentioned, truck stops are crazy. Crazy full after 5 p.m. They're crazy full. But don't worry, you will see if you're going to be into the trucking business. And so that's what happened. And
you got a good personality.
I was kind of not myself, so I couldn't make content. I couldn't, like,
we understand. We
understand. I just spoke to my leaders. I spoke to my team, and they had a talk with me. I appreciate Schneider. I love Schneider, honestly, because they have people out there who can talk to you, people with experience who've been through what you've been through, and they'll communicate with you, and they'll make you see other things you could have done. Like, for example, I could have opened my Google Maps, looked at the state, satellite of the truck stop, and if I did that, I probably would have not gone there, because either way, even if I made it through that guy, I still would have had a challenge in front of me. So that's another thing that they helped me see. Like, you could do that. You could check out different truck stops, like, before you head out. Like, go on, select truck stops that are nearer to your destination that could help you out a lot. And they really helped me see where I could have improved. Like, where I went wrong, like also my tandems. If they were a little bit maybe forward, I might have actually made it, because if they are further back, that means you have to work more for you to maneuver into that position, of which I did not know that as well. And it was not a really a good situation to learn those, but if that didn't happen, I wouldn't have learned what I learned now. And yeah, it was crazy, and we got through it, and I'm still here. I'm still improving. I'm still new in the trucking business, and I'm still surviving.
And it's so good to see young ladies and young men out here still trying to do the trucking thing with a positive attitude. So this is a breath of fresh air right here.
In this trucking business, because trucking is a survival game. We'll talk this another time, but as for now, this is what I wanted to share with you guys. So if you're looking into going into trucking, try it out. Don't let the mistakes or the dramas that take place stop you.
Yep.
Keep going and keep trying and keep moving, and you'll be okay.
Yep.
Thank y'all.
I wanted to just get kind of a snapshot on what manufacturing in America has looked like over the past 40 or so years. So I'm on the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics. Let me read this to you. This came out in November 2020. The author is Caitlin Harris. 40 years of falling manufacturing employment. Despite being a leading driver of employment growth for decades, manufacturing has shed employment over the past 40 years as the U.S. economy has shifted to service-providing industries. In June 1979, manufacturing employment reached an all-time peak of 19.6 million. In June 2019, employment was at 12.8 million, down 6.7 million or 35% from the all-time peak.
Wow.
Since 1979, employment fell during each of 5 recessions, and in each case, employment never fully recovered to pre-recession levels. So reading through this some more, it indicates there was steady cyclical growth from 1939 to 79. So we spent a lot of time, we spent 40 years building up our manufacturing abilities. And then we've spent 40 years getting rid of it so that we could become a service-based nation, because that's how you become a consumer nation, right? Scrolling down just a little bit, there's a section titled Declines After 1979. I'm going to read the opening paragraph on this one for you. At its peak in June 1979, manufacturing employment represented 22% of total non-farm employment, but that share had fallen to 9% by June of 2019. Manufacturing's falling share of employment coincided with job growth in service-providing industries, including professional and business services, education and health services, and leisure and hospitality. There's a big chart, and then you go down to durable and non-durable goods. By June 2019, manufacturers of both durable goods and non-durable goods lost more than 1/3 of jobs held in June 1979. Employment in durable goods fell by 4.3 million, while non-durable goods lost 2.5 million jobs over the 40-year span. Employment in durable goods has been more sensitive to recessions than in non-durable goods. Durable goods industries lost, on average, 10% of jobs throughout each recession. Now let's read the conclusion. Wow. In the 40 years since manufacturing employment peaked, the industry has struggled to regain the prominence it once had. Notable job losses occurred within durable goods manufacturing, especially fabricated metals and machinery, and computer and electrical products. Within non-durable goods manufacturing, apparel and textile industries suffered dramatic jobs losses, while food manufacturing was the only component industry to add jobs. Although there were more recessions, 7, during the 40 years prior to peak employment, compared with the number 5 after the peak, manufacturing employment failed to fully recover from any of the cyclical losses after June 1979 and resulted in a 34% net loss over the 40 years following the peak. So I just want to try to be sure I understand our situation right now.
Yes.
We don't have the means of manufacturing our own shit anymore. Hardware, software, infrastructure, none of it. We don't have it. And we're losing a whole shit ton of jobs. And it looks like job losses during recessions, which we may or may not be in one right now, but job losses during recessions don't tend to recover. Is that maybe because the industries die? But anyway, manufacturing's not coming back. And we're losing a whole lot of jobs. I'm curious what you guys see coming down the pipe, because what I see coming down the pipe, it doesn't look good. So
we're cooked.
Leave me your thoughts and comments.
Let me just preface this list by saying I have zero authority to speak on any of this as a 33-year-old stay-at-home mother, but these are just some things that I'm not going to be purchasing as we head into tumultuous times.
Uh-oh.
First one on the list, any sort of water vessel. You have one, you don't need another one. Plain and simple. The second one you're not going to like. There's a Sephora sale going on right now. Sale does not equal you need it. So stop buying things you don't need. The third one pains me, but I love going to TJ Maxx just to look at things, but I always end up spending at least $100. I am banning myself from these stores from here on out unless it's a special occasion, because why am I buying things that I don't need? The next one is Uber Eats, DoorDash, any of those applications that we use to send food to our homes when we are fully capable of cooking a meal ourselves. That one's a harsh one because honestly, sometimes I get lazy, but I also have a Costco membership and I go to Trader Joe's, so there's always something in the freezer that I could eat, something. So that's just a little food for thought.
Come on, budgeting.
The last one I already stopped doing a while ago before I had my baby, but I stopped dyeing my hair. I didn't realize how big of an expense that was, but if you can cut that out, you're gonna be saving money, girl.
Like, come subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.